Men and women in the armed forces, transitioning veterans, and in many cases, civilian contractors are patriot warriors who play a critical and necessary role in our society and in every country in the free world. They're trained to endure extreme hardships and to remain calm and focused in dangerous and often violent situations. Their sole purpose is to successfully execute their missions and objectives, no matter what the cost or sacrifice. While these complex problem-solving abilities translate well at work and military life, if they can't be turned down or turned off when needing to relax, sleep, or be with family and friends, it can cause stress and problems with the relationships, family life, and at work. Given their training and conditioning, is it any wonder why these warriors find it extremely difficult to show uncertainty as they prepare for the unknowns of leaving military service? When faced with these uncertainties, these warriors can often find themselves self-absorbed and retreating into their familiar cave to keep safe and protected while they figure things out. This can be an imaginary cave in their own mind, or they may literally hole up in a physical space to create a safe perimeter. In this place of isolation, the risk of self-medicating with drugs, alcohol, endless video gaming, and other destructive habits can take over. And as the pizza boxes begin to stack up, family and friends don't know what to do or how to help. Got the picture? Well, this is not a new picture. Since well before Homer wrote the epic works of the Iliad more than 2,600 years ago, warriors have gone to war and families have awaited their eventual return. Here's a catch-22 that exists for these reluctant warriors today. The Department of Defense and the Veterans Administration have a growing wealth of resources and programs to assist our warriors as they transition from battlefield to home front. The catch-22? Self-reliant warriors who won't show vulnerability, the ones who need the help the most, are simply not engaging and accessing these resources. They've been trained to suck it up when the going gets tough, but also have legitimate concerns about exposing their needs. Here are some barriers to care that prevent far too many warriors from accessing care and resources. Fear of being stigmatized as weak for seeking help. Fear of being passed over for promotions because they ask for help instead of sucking it up. In the civilian sector, fear of losing potential employment opportunities due to having counseling and mental health documentation in their medical records. Here's a fear that's not often discussed: fear of losing their current job or security clearance for seeking help. And lastly, a deep reluctance to speak with non-veteran counselors with no personal experience of what they've been through. If you can relate to some or all of what we've covered so far, you've come across this introduction for a reason. There's something here to learn that will help you on your way. What has been created is a confidential, personal development approach to dealing with triggers, trauma, and our critical mind. It's self-paced and private, delivered in audiobook form to allow warriors to listen to it in the privacy of their own mind. All of what you'll hear has been developed from real experiences with real warriors. The name of the audiobook? Transitioning Veterans: How We Get in Our Own Way and What to Do About It. Warriors can listen to real solutions to help them in their transition. It's especially helpful for those who have difficulty concentrating due to hypervigilance, PTS, or TBI. Listen to these resources as many times as necessary to internalize them. If you're feeling trapped inside your head at times due to your critical mind being constantly triggered to be on alert, on guard, and prepared, this will help. If the need for perfectionism is driving you and others into constant disappointment and frustration, this will help. If your need for self-reliance and control is affecting the quality of your personal and professional relationships, this will help. If your reluctance to seek help is standing in your way of living the life you've always envisioned, take this first, small, private step. No one will know you're listening to it. If you're ready to create a new mission that gives you a renewed sense of meaning and purpose in your life, this will help. As you continue to open your mind to personal development, your moods, your attitudes, and your perspectives will begin to expand in ways you cannot imagine. And lastly, hear this: you will always be a warrior, and that will never leave you. But wouldn't it be great if your life got a little easier? If this audiobook is helpful to you, pass it along to fellow veterans and their families. To make the most of this, consider picking a battle buddy, or a group of veterans you trust, and go through this work together. You can listen to the first few segments for free at harvestingwisdom.com. It's available on iTunes, Audible, Amazon, and Kindle. When would now be a good time to work on yourself and who you're becoming?